$44 billion to own the libs. Oh my goodness. So if you haven't heard, if you aren't an avid Twitter user such as myself, follow me on Twitter if you haven't. Elon Musk has come out with a new policy that is triggering a lot of people. Primarily, I'll say the alphabet, okay? The alphabet is losing their minds. And that is, he is now declaring that cis or cisgender is a slur on the platform. I kid you not, bruh. This man spent $44 billion to troll the libs. That is wild, bruh. That is wild. This has got to be the most expensive modern day troll ever. And people are losing their minds. If you look at the tweets and the retweets, people are like, oh, it's not a slur. It's been around since 1966. It's hilarious. Don't get me wrong. It's hilarious to see them just completely melt down. Because here's the thing. When you tell someone, hey, don't call me cis. Don't call me cisgender. They'll be like, well, that's what you are actually. Okay, if you're not cis, all cis means is not trans. Oh wait, I don't care what it means, all right? Don't call me that, okay? Just like you want people to respect your pronouns, he, they, she, them, z, whatever, okay? Don't call me cis. Don't call me cisgender, all right? Just call me a man, okay? Because if cis doesn't mean trans, then great, just call me a man. Because you're trans a man, right? You're a trans woman, right? Is that not what you are? So you're transitioning from one thing to another. That's what you believe. You're in transition. I don't have to transition, okay? I was born this way. So I'm the original man, right? Just like the biological woman is the original woman. You're the one that's transitioning. So don't link me in or lump me in with your lexicon, all right? It's as simple as that. As much as you or people out there may not like to hear that, or as idiotic as it may sound to some people, oh, that's it's a scientific term and blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool, great, that's awesome, great. Respect me and I'll respect you. That's how that works, right? Right? Isn't that ostensibly how it's supposed to work? That's what they constantly say. The issue that I have with this is his logic, okay? If we're gonna be honest, the issue I have with Elon implementing this policy is the logic behind it. Because he made this policy in response to another person's tweet. And in this tweet, the guy is saying, hey, I asked someone not to call me cis throughout this discourse, and they repeatedly called me cis, and, I find this to be harassment. And Elon was like, hey, repeated harassment will get you suspended or banned from the platform. And then he adds that cis and cisgender is considered a slur on the platform. If you follow that logic, hear me out. I'm all for trolls, okay? Especially when it comes to the alphabet. That's always funny, okay? It's always funny to troll those people. Nevertheless, his logic is a little problematic. And I can see this opening up the floodgates to people saying, well, Karen's a slur too, okay? Elon, they keep calling me Karen. You gotta add that as a slur too. And I keep seeing the fragility, right? We gotta be aware of that, the fragility. Okay, feel free to get a shirt. The fragility and how it will permeate, a rule such as this. Because the reason why he made it a rule, simply due to this person being called it incessantly after being told not to. Here's the thing. If anybody knows how to, roast with the best, it doesn't matter what the word is. I can call you a potato and roast you, all right? If you don't want me calling you cisgender, or don't want me calling you cis, I can still roast you, technically, or harass you by any word. I could call you a bunny rabbit, okay? I could make jokes about you being a bunny rabbit. It doesn't matter. If you're short, tall, fat, skinny, or average, it doesn't matter. There are jokes for all of that. That's what you have to understand. So the problem is not necessarily cis or cisgender. The problem, if he had just left it at harassment, that would have been fine. But then he coupled that harassment and labeled cis and cisgender, a slur. Because that was the term that was being, applied to this guy after he told them to stop. The problem I have is like, let's say if Karen was the term. Are you going to label Karen, a slur? Let's say potato was the term, right? Lunchbox was a term, whatever. Are you then now going to label that lunchbox or, that potato as a slur just because it was used in a manner that someone felt it was harassment? It doesn't add up, and it opens up the floodgates. That's what I always try to anticipate. When people put out a law, whether it's Democrat or Republican, most of the time, they don't think, how can this law, this regulation, this policy be used against me? So that's my main, contempt with this policy of labeling, cis and cisgender a slur, because I definitely feel, Elon seems to be leaning more towards the right and, placating those individuals. And those individuals, many of them are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Just as cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs when it comes to the left, all right? So I'm sure they're going to add in some, this is anti-white racism, and the list is going to go on and on and on about what is a slur and what's not a slur. But I also find it humorous that, the bastion, of free speech, because wasn't he a free speech absolutist? That was never the case. I hope people understand that. The leader in the free speech revolution, has just now labeled, cis and cisgender a slur. So I thought that was hilarious because I thought you should be able to say anything you want on Twitter. That's the impression that I was led to believe. Clearly, that's not the case because multiple people, including myself, have been banned. You have Marsha Ray who's been banned. You have other individuals who have been banned. So this whole free speech absolutist is nothing more than a ploy to garner, the love and admiration of individuals on the right, which is eventually going to backfire. Eventually, may not right now, but later down the road, as Green Goblin says, that eventually, no matter how much you try, they will eventually hate you. Why bother? Because the same people who want to tell black people, hey, just get over the N-word, okay? Just get over the N-word. Karen is the same thing as the N-word, right? It's just, when they come up with these idiotic comparisons, just to troll, just to incite a reaction or response from black people, just so then they can then say, hey, look how violent they are. Hey, look at their impulse control. Hey, look at the reaction. Look at that. They're just naturally like that. Just to feed into their natural anti-black biases and prejudices. It's really disgusting. But it's also a reflection of, well, who really is the snowflake here, right? Because they always told me that, the left were the snowflakes. That, my pronouns, this and this, if you don't respect them, well, you're just a snowflake. Now, it started to turn that the right are snowflakes, and it's just crazy. It's humorous to see this. The same people who constantly were talking about black people and the victimhood, the Democrats are feeding you a victimhood narrative, and it's hilarious to now see that the Republicans are now feeding white people a victimhood narrative. Oh, you're being attacked, you're being persecuted, there's racism happening to you. And it's just comedy, right? It's really comedy at the end of the day to see how disjointed this country is. To see that this country is run by simpletons, crooks, and, sheep. That at the end of the day, just for a moment, do you understand they lost $6 billion? I just wanted to end the video with that. Just to let you know, they lost $6 billion, okay? The government. They lost $6 billion. They don't know what happened. It's unaccounted for. $6 billion. That's the real story here, all right? Not Twitter, not Biden. The fact that they lost $6 billion. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think. Whether or not you believe Lucas, this is absolutely a win, Lucas, okay? I'm sick and tired of the alphabet, of the groomers, and the cis and cisgender. I think this is a win for the country and for Twitter. Or if you can't believe, I hear you, but this could also be a slippery slope, okay? Especially how he implemented it. In addition to that, what happened to the whole free speech thing, right? As long as you don't physically attack me or harm me, your feelings, what, I don't understand. Are we now protecting feelings? Because now it starts to seem like you're going over to the left side. And as I always believe, the right is just a few years behind the left, okay? So give it time. They'll be saying the same stuff that the left was saying, and the left will progress even further, down the rabbit hole. Nevertheless, if you happen to disagree with the video, you're more than welcome to call in during disagreement days, which are typically held Friday through Sunday. There'll be a number on screen. You call in, we duke it out. Either or, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to like, share, comment. Let me know what you guys think. I mean, I'm sure, I think most people would probably agree with what Elon did. Just off the cusp, off of what I'm looking at on Twitter and videos and whatnot, it seems like most people are like, yeah, just stick it to them, Elon. Short-sighted and myopic in approach. That's what I would argue. Nevertheless, share the video, like, comment, subscribe. Oh, that fun stuff. Until next time, guys, be amazing. $6 billion.